With React Native and Expo, it's more so new month, new me, right? In the JavaScript ecosystem, things can move exceptionally quickly. And so when we started off this project, we were around Expo version 40. And as of right now, we're at version 43. And whatever version it's at doesn't really matter. The question begs, what do we do? How do we upgrade and keep our projects up to date when we use Expo? Well, the following videos are going to try to explain in the most simple way possible what steps you should go through, why you should go through them, and what the end consequence is. What steps do we need to take once we upgrade? Because upgrading is scary. Upgrading has always been scary, right? Especially upgrading 3 minor versions of Expo, right? Like if we look at the highlights, there's so many things. There's experimental support for Hermes, there's improved module infrastructure, and all of these good, nice to have things, right? And we want to keep our projects up to date so that we can always have the latest versions of everything, right? With the new Expo version, we're upgrading to a new version of React Native, and we're getting the new version of React for free. And so these videos are not intended to kind of like push you through and get you to use every little bit of what comes in these new versions. No, what we're trying to get at is, what do we need to know to upgrade and keep our projects up to date? And for that, we'll be using Meals to Go. So get ready. Before we dive into the actual upgrade process, we already covered why upgrade, right? Like, we want to keep our packages up to date. We want to have use of all the new goodies, right? And I just wanted to take some time to run you through some of the great things that come with upgrading, because that may not be so clear all the time, right? This experimental support for Hermes. What is Hermes? Well, Hermes is a new engine to process JavaScript, right? And it's now available on iOS. Now, whether or not you want to toggle that on, that's up to you. But as for the future of React Native, they're investing heavily in this new engine. And so, although you may not want it today, maybe you'll want it a year down the line. And so this support, right? This is why we want to keep the packages up to date. Improved and simplified module infrastructure, right? Okay, so what does that mean? Oh, we've replaced a certain package with an Expo package, and we've approved mono repo support. So all of this comes to the question of, like, do I need this today? Well, Meals to Go didn't really use any of the module infrastructure. We weren't really a mono repo, but wait, what if I'm trying to build a project that, I want to build a company around? And so right now it's just this mobile app, this ragtag mobile app. I'm trying to get it out. I'm trying to prove market fit. Well, eventually you may want to go to a mono repo support, right? So just covering more of that why, more of like, what's the use of this? Then they introduced a new package that makes it easier to bring Expo modules to any React Native app. The new version of React Native, very important to keep this up to date so that you get all of the bug fixes, enhancements, improvements, security patches. New React 17, which, brings in all of that good practice that React has been putting in to React, right? They've been solidifying the API. They've been making it more maintainable. So, it's very important, right? And it adds support for all of these things that right now, right this second, you may not need. But maybe a month from now, you'll try to install a package and then it requires React 17. And you'll be like, oh, I have to upgrade. Why didn't I upgrade? Why didn't I take the time before? It's very important to keep doing this, right? And then there's just improvements to Expo CLI. Some things that may improve build time, some things that may improve auto completion in VS Code, a QR code that's more compact in the CLI, some beta flags, some nice to haves all around, right? That we can experiment with in case we have a team and they're struggling with, speed of delivery, speed of development. All of these things come with upgrades because you don't want to build it all yourself. They're maintaining Expo for you. So why not get the benefits out of it? I know what you're thinking. Mo, cut all of the fluff and just get to the point. How do I upgrade? What do I need to do? Well, let's get straight into it. Over here, I have the Meals to Go running as it is today. If you want to run the same exact version I'm running, I am running a specific branch called Full with Mock and Polish. Now, if you go to our GitHub link and you go to the Meals to Go, then what you'll see over here on the main page is I have a branch, Full Mock with Polish, and you can just grab this branch, install, and you're good to go. You have to fill in some of the information around your specific setup with Firebase, but other than that, you can get going. Now, you have to have finished the course in order to get to this point, so make sure you've finished the course. And then from there, what we're going to need is Expo CLI. Now, if you've done the course as of today, you should have this installed. If you're coming back to the course from a longer period of time, just make sure you have it installed globally. And you can do that by npm install Expo CLI global, right? -G. We've been through this. Once we have that, what we need to do is we need to go over to our CLI over here. And what we'll do is I'll just open a new window. And so we'll go to projects, Meals to Go. And what we need to do here, and before we get to this, what we need, Expo CLI global. Don't forget that, because otherwise your command will fail. All we need to fill in here is Expo upgrade. And what this is going to do is it's going to say, hey, oh, my working branch is dirty. That means I currently already have changes. Okay. Would you like to proceed? No. So let's see what I have here. Oh, I edited my app.js with my personal information for my, Meals to Go app. So let me go over here. Let me kill the app real quick. Let's make sure we don't have the app running while we go through an upgrade. That would be, dangerous. Now that we have our branch in a good state, it's as simple as typing in Expo upgrade, and it'll take you through the prompts to actually upgrade. So what is it asking us? It's saying you're currently running SDK version 40. Would you like to update to 43? And of course, we're going to say yes. And then it's going to install Expo 43 as the first package. And what it's subsequently going to do is it's going to go through the packages that are also installed, and it's going to update the packages to the compatible versions where it knows that there are Expo packages installed in your repository. So any package that is Expo compatible is also automatically upgraded to the latest version. How cool is that? How simple is that? They make it so easy for you to keep everything up to date. And then they'll tell you, okay, we updated the following packages. So async storage is up to date, safe area context, reanimated, the gesture handler, the status bar, the SVG, Lottie, all of these things just came out of the box. And then saying, okay, well, these packages weren't updated. Also, it upgraded React and React DOM, which is very key. But then it says, we didn't update the following packages, right? Which packages didn't it update? Well, it didn't update the fonts. Okay, that's fine. Do we need to update the fonts? What's going to really change about a font? Then it didn't update the mask view. Oh, that's the one that, we utilized for the credit card, I think. Or, what was that? Oh, yeah, it's one of those packages that introduced a masked view. Okay, well, at the current version, as long as it's working, that's good. And then a lot of React navigation stuff. Firebase, of course, that's something that we need to manually keep in mind. React Native Paper, which is our design system. Okay, that's fine. Styled components. Sure, you shouldn't update that because that could break all of the styling. These are things that we manually need to look at and manually need to upgrade. Prettier and ESLint. So it made all of the right decisions. It didn't update things it didn't know about. It didn't update things that could break the core of the app, like the navigation, the styling, our design system, all of the things that we manually may need to intervene to update. And it only updated the core of our app. So their app is at its core up to date, like everything that keeps the app from the foundational standpoint running is all updated, and everything that is an add-on isn't. So our foundation is always going to be in a good state, and we can decide from there whether or not, it's a good idea to go through an upgrade of styled components or, our design system or React navigation for that. And so from here, because our foundation has been updated, we should go ahead and look at what actually happened to the app. So let's take a look at that. If everything went to plan, really nothing should have changed at all, right? Because we only updated the foundation. So if the upgrade is successful, and it should be, really our app should just continue to work as is. So let's take a look at that. Let's go ahead and run the app. And by doing this, we'll start our bundler. And what we'll do is over here, we'll reload, which will grab the bundle from the Metro bundler, which is now running on version 43 of Expo. And if everything has gone to plan, what we should see here is a fully functioning app. I'm already logged in. My mock data is loading in. And, seems like my app works perfectly fine, right? We always have to do a smoke test after an upgrade and ensure the functionality works as intended, right? And that everything that we put together is actually up to date. And so by doing this, we will always ensure that our upgrades are successful. Now, what can you do for smoke tests? Well, there's manual testing where you take the team and you say, look, okay, here's the branch where I upgraded, and let's go through it together. Or you can run automated tests with something like Detox. There's many ways to smoke test an application, but nothing passes the test like a quick run through of the core functionalities. And so as we can see here, our app is fully up to date. We're running the new version of React. We're running the new version of Expo. The foundation of our app is set, and everything just continued to work as is. That's amazing, right? And so that's how you go through a secure upgrade. And so if you wanted to upgrade any of the other parts of the app, like the navigation, the new design system, any of those additional perks, you would go and grab the migration guide from that package. They regularly publish the migration guides, and they'll tell you how to go through it, what code you need to change. But it's so nice that with Expo, and Expo especially, we went through a full foundational upgrade of React, Expo, a bunch of core fundamental packages, and our app continued to work. Now, is this always going to be this way? No, sometimes some things will break. And then you'll have to go and you'll have to look at the breaking changes guides that they link over here when you did the upgrade, right? Remember when we said the following packages were updated, the following weren't? Well, they'll always refer you to the release notes, right? If there are any breaking changes, or if you're skipping a couple of versions, what the prior version's breaking changes were, so that you can go through the documentation and kind of see, all right, where do I need to adjust things? What do I need to update? And that's very important.